We are Steve and Jill. Together, we've been buying and reselling land since the 90s.
Our data-centric approach leaves our buyers asking, how can you sell it so cheap?
Here on the Land Academy Show,
We answer that and more. Steve and Jill here.
hello.
Welcome to the Land Academy Show, entertaining land investment talk. I'm Stephen Jack Butella.
And I'm Jill DeWitt, broadcasting from sunny Southern California.
Today's Jack Thursday, and I'm going to talk about, by request, Concierge Data Plus. I'm going to explain it and really get to the bottom of it, what it is, what it isn't, who loves it, who probably should be using it and should not be using it, the components of, the components that I put this whole product together. It's basically a mirror image of Chapter 4 in the formal education, but we do it for you with some new caveats. So it's actually an incredible product for the right person.
Yeah, I was just thinking, sunny Southern California. I wish you could tell from our background, but you really kind of can't.
It's okay.
It's really kind of interesting, and it made me think of the old days. If you've been with us for a while, you remember 6 years ago.
Before COVID.
We used to, way before that. No, but we used to take the camera out on the pier.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
And try to film in remote locations. And that was the funniest thing because there's wind blowing and all kinds of distractions going on. That was hilarious.
I like to rate myself.
All on battery power.
Rate myself from a scale of 1 to 10 about how good I am at certain stuff, and that's a 1.5.
That was fun though. I wish I could go look and find those old podcasts where we're literally sitting there's waves crashing.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's hard to hear us.
Oh, sure, you can't hear it all.
Oh, it's hilarious. We're on the pier and that was
It's like here. I'm going to talk about this since you brought it up. It's funny. It's the biggest beginner's mistake in filming anything is having this great bright background, backlit.
Yeah.
And then you can't see our faces. And
Correct.
In a cool place that's really loud, and then you can't hear us. So.
Exactly.
So then Jill and I went on a Hollywood tour once, and we walked into a soundstage, a vacant soundstage, just a lot of years ago, during the same time. And it's, if you've ever been in a soundstage, it's this massive building, as large as you can imagine, Walmart-sized building that's got all this padding all over the floor and the ceiling, and you can hear a pin drop in there, and it's black. And so it's just that the light bulb went off in my head. I'm like, well, you need a closed set for everything. You need to control the audio and the light and everything instead of,
And now we just do half and
being
half
on a
because
subway.
that's kind of who we are. We're kind of half and half people. Half professional, half whatever.
Yeah.
Just, this is us.
It's 10% professional and 90% whatever.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Did you already read the thingy? No.
Before we get into it, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the landinvestors.com online community. It's free, and please don't forget to subscribe on the Land Academy YouTube channel. It tells us what what shows you like.
Unlike Monday's show, which was unsubscribed.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so Dania wrote, "Hey newbies or noobs, does anyone have access to the Land Academy mailer template?" Everybody does.
Yeah.
That may or may not be on offers2owners.com.
It is
you
along
kind of
there.
go there and go under forms. I don't know if it's under tools or forms. I can't remember what it is. Thank you very much. There you go.
There's all kinds of other templates there
Yeah.
to help you. Offers to Owners is open to the public. It's just a lot more expensive if you're not a member. And so their tools are there and they're available to you.
Totally.
Today's Jack Thursday. I'm going to talk about Concierge Data Plus. This is why you're listening.
I'm just going to listen.
Like all products that Joe and I have released, like Neighbor Scoop and Parcel Fact, and on and on and on, Concierge Data Plus was driven by the number of questions that we were getting about how to do a mailer, why to do a mailer. This doesn't make sense over here. All the tiny little caveats of, well, where do I learn how to be an Excel expert? What's a database? How to use data tree? On and on and on. There's a lot of moving parts, like I like to say a lot to that, especially that component. So in a lot of cases, in a sort of a beta way, I said, well, what if we do the mailer for you? And everybody's, eyes got real wide.
Woohoo! Exactly. Kick ass.
Fast forward to now, we have this product called Concierge Data Plus. And what it is this. You go and do the first steps of the, let's say, 8 or 10 step progression of events to get a deal done. You test where you want to send mail. You go out and test it and red, green, yellow test the first 2 or 3. There's trolling. You want to find out where you're going to send property. And then there's a testing to see if those markets that you actually discover that will work for you pass the tests. And so now you've got those things done. You've tested Illinois, or you've tested California, or you've tested Texas or Maine. And one of those or all of those work for you. That's the time when you call Concierge Data and you say, these zip codes work for me. These zip codes work for me. And these acreage ranges are where I want to send mail. In some zip code in Maine, I'd like to send it from 0.05 acres to 1 acre. In Texas, there's bigger pieces of land there. I'd like to send it in these 4 zip codes from 5 acres to 10 acres, or on and on and on. So then we take over the mailer. We either pull the data for you, or in most cases, you pull the data for yourself. And we process the data using the steps that are exactly in Module 4 in the
how we do it.
Yeah, it's exactly how I do a mailer. Exactly. And we process the mailer. We get the mailer back to you. I'm trying not to make this a 2-hour show. We get the mailer back to you.
Thank you. I thank you. Our listeners thank you. Our neighbors thank you.
And we get it back to you in a first draft, and then it's your job to take a look at it. Well, you price it. And you look at it, and you start going down the path of what I call doing testing for reason. On the Thursday we call it, would you do this deal?
Don't I even have pricing help too? Like you guys do some scraping to help me?
Oh, Joe, we're past that. We scrape it. Thank you. We process the retail price per acre in that zip code. So let's say it's $22,000 based on sold comps and active comps. And so you have that information right in the mailer. So you know that every property that's been sold or active, the average in this zip code, the active price per acre is, let's say, $22,000, and you decide how much you want to set, what the price that you want to send the mailer at.
What you want to offer based on that.
Yeah. So sometimes it's 25%, sometimes it's 75%.
Depending on the property.
We lean between 25 and 35%. And right. then you go about testing it, looking up, let's say you pick out a line in the data, and you say, what if the offer came back just how I have it priced? Would I buy it? Next line, or next, and for every zip code, I recommend maybe testing 10.
I do. You know what I do when it gets, like I have areas that I have you do, and I want to make sure they're priced how I want them to be priced. So I just say there's 10 zip codes in there and 3 different property types. I do one of every property size, I should say. I'm gonna hit a 5 acre guy, a 10 acre, and a 20 acre, all in each individual zip code. So then I know I at least test one of all the different scenarios, and to see if it comes back signed, would I buy it right now? And then I can go, oh, okay, everything's great except for all the 5 acres properties. I want to offer a little bit less, or everything's great except for this zip code. I want to offer a little bit more, and have you tweak it a little bit, and that's it.
Yep.
That's really good. Now, I was just thinking about everything that we've done. With Concierge 2 is taking out the work, taking out some of the obstacles, taking out maybe even it's just a time issue. For a lot of people, they're really good at this, and it's not a problem. They're not afraid of it. They understand it. They do it. It's just nothing but time or consistency. There's just stuff going on that they can't, always get to it. So I had a note here that I wrote to myself, like, you really want to do nothing? Because there's one more step here, by the way. Do you know what it is? If you really want to do nothing and you want to be like us, all you got to do, you know what it is? Join Land Academy and fund other people's deals.
Oh, yeah.
That's the final do nothing thing.
We have people in this group that have
do that.
no intention of ever sending a mailer out, which I think is brilliant for the right personality type. And they're just the bank. They fund other people's deals.
Yep. But they're in the community to get to know everybody. A, B, learn who's doing the good deals, right? C, understand how we are funding these deals. So it makes them sleep really well. Then all they do is sit back and see for like, someone comes up and says, I need money and here's the property. They're going to be like, done. I see it. I know that area. That's absolutely going to work out. Where would you like me to mail the check? Or wire the money?
I mean, back to concierge data. There's two types of people that tend to use this. The first and most successful is somebody who's done a bunch of mailers already and they're tired of it. And they can't seem to stick to us. This is me. I use concierge data.
Which is not what I would have thought. It's funny.
Me too.
Yeah.
So basically they're outsourcing. They're yet again outsourcing another component to this.
Uh-huh.
And so that is me. I'm tired of doing it. I've sent millions of letters. I've done millions and millions of lines of data. Millions, tens of millions probably. And so I send it out, it comes back, and I price it, and it doesn't take very long. Mm-hmm. And it's the same all the time. Consistency is really the key here.
Right.
So there's that person, and then the second person is I don't want to do a mailer. Right. I don't want to learn how to do a mailer. I'm not necessarily recommending that. I think you really should learn how to do one and do it a few times to see the components. It makes you a better pricing person and all that. But if it's stopping you from getting a mailer out at all, then you should use it. So I have to end on this. This product was so popular that at the time of us recording this, it's not even available.
You broke it.
Yeah. We got inundated with orders, so this is my full-time job right now, besides recording this stuff.
Fixing it.
Staff it.
Yeah.
To staff it with people I know, and train it that have that particular talent in Excel and that data-driven kind of thought process, that linear process thinking. And so we're working on that full-time to get it staffed with great people.
Thank you. Well, I'm going to hurry and get off this show so you can get back to it because we are all anxious and need it and happy you could join us today too. 5 days a week, you can find us here on the Land Academy Show.
Tomorrow is Jill Friday, and she is going to tell us a story entitled Duck You.
Duck You. That's it. It's good.
You are not alone in your real estate ambition.
It involves ducks and a pond.
And a real estate agent.
Uh-huh. Oh my gosh, it's a good story. I can't wait to tell it you.
So. It involves a real estate agent explaining to us why we should convert our property.
Well, don't give it away. No, that's all you're going to get. Thank you. Hey, thanks for tuning in, and we hope you find our content valuable, and we really do appreciate your support. If you haven't already, please check out our YouTube channel and hit the subscribe button. And don't forget, if you are a Land Academy member, get on Discord. There's so much happening there. And if you want to learn more about all of this, send a note to support@landacademy.com.
We're Jack and Jill. Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.
We hope you found our content valuable and we appreciate your support. If you have not already, please check out our channel and hit the subscribe button.
And your comments and suggestions help us to create the content you're here for. Hitting the like button helps to support our channel's algorithm and gauge your interest for future shows.